Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we are going to be playing the E50M. Of course, just like most of the other videos we've done over the last few days or weeks, we're going to look at the E50M because, of course, it got rebalanced. The last update, it did get rebalanced. How did Wargaming rebalance it? Have they made it better? Or have they made it worse? But before I get into today's video, just in case anyone does mention it, because a few people have already mentioned it to me, of course, I made a video of ranking tier 10 tanks for newer players. Now, again, like I always say, every video I do is my personal opinion, and I'm looking at tanks from my opinion. Doesn't mean they're right, it doesn't mean they're wrong. Anybody or everybody can have a different opinion. I'm not saying that my opinion is correct. It might not be correct. I'm just going by my opinion, and I'm trying to help new players out. Looking at tier 10s, like this isn't the tier 10 for you. Yes, you might sort of grind the line, and by the time you get there, you might learn it. I'm just doing it from my personal opinion. But if people like Droodles wants to go and fucking make a 1.5 hour video, pretty much slating that video, let him fucking go and do that. I don't give a flying fuck what Droodles does. He can do what he wants. But if he wants to go and make a 1.5 hour video about my video, then more for him. Get a fucking life. Do you know what I mean? I've got no problem with Droodles, and when I see that without him even talking to me, fuck you. Like, that is all I've got to say. Fuck you, Droodles. I don't give a fuck. Those of you that are Droodles' fans, if you want to stay, you want to go, whatever. I don't care if I lose subs because of Droodles. Everyone agrees with Droodles. It's childish. I don't give a crap. And more for him. He could have come and spoke to me. Like I said, I always got on with Droodles. I've never had a problem with Droodles. I'd always talk to him when there was an issue, if there was something that I don't agree with. But, you know, as I've said, if he wants to go and make an 1.5 hour video about an opinion that I had, get a freaking life. Back to today's video. So the E50M, maybe Droodles will make a video about my opinion on this tank as well. But fantastic tank. It has always been a fantastic tank. One of the strongest tier 10 mediums. I'm not saying it's the best tier 10 medium, but it is one of the strongest tier 10 mediums, which ultimately is why I put this number one in medium tanks to play for newer players, because you can get away with more. Like, you put a new player in an E50M and a new player in a Leopard 1, most of the time the new player in the E50M will be more successful because you can get away with it. You know, you get bounces, you got armor, something that you haven't got in the Leopard 1. But now, obviously, Wargaming have changed it even more. And yeah, it really is fantastic. Yes, they've reduced the accuracy of the tank, but to be fair, the tank is always, it's been very, very accurate. So dropping some accuracy and enhancing some armor, I don't think is that bad of a change, to be honest. So your turret, 285 millimeters. I mean, don't forget, this is a medium tank. 285 millimeters on your turret and 174 on your hull. Now, the upper glaciers is pretty strong as well, and it got enhanced the last update. So did the turret, the side of the turrets. That got enhanced as well to, what, 105. So yeah, the armor profile is really, really, really good. DPM as well, for what it is, 3,000, almost 3,400, is also very, very freaking good. That is just over a 6-second reload. Your penetration 245 on your APCR, 300 on your heat, and 60 on your HE. You can run it with calibrated shells. I am not running it with calibrated shells. I mean, you probably could, to be honest, because you've got heat, that will bring your pen up by quite a lot. In fact, let's have a look. Yeah, 330 pen So yeah, I would probably run it with calibrated shells, to be honest. It does drop your DPM to just 1,100, so yeah, you lose a little bit, but you do have that penetration. So you've got a 340 alpha on your AP, 300 on your heat, and 450 on your HE. Aim time is 3 seconds, which isn't bad, and your dispersion is now 0.308, which still isn't bad, considering it's kind of like a brawling medium tank. You don't need that dispersion, to be fair. So yeah, people might look at the dispersion and think, it's ruined it. No, it's not a sniping tank. You know, it's not like a Leopard 1 where it's got no armor. It's not so much a brawling tank. This really is a brawling tank. And so you don't really need that dispersion, in my opinion. Your gun depression, 8 degrees of gun depression, which is okay. And you've got a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour. So yeah, let's just have a couple of games. I mean, you're not always going to be successful in the tank. Yeah, you're going to sometimes get wrecked. You might get wrecked occasionally. It all depends on how you play it. You know, if you look at the tank and think, you know what, this tank has fantastic armor, I'm going to play really aggressive because no one's going to be able to penetrate me. Those are the games that you don't normally be successful in. Normally you just get ripped apart. But you just play it like a brawling tank, you know. If you're going to go medium side and you're going to attack the mediums, of course, with your team, of course, try to go for the ram. It is a very, very heavy tank. If you ram a T62 or an Object 140 or anything like that, then you're going to do a lot of damage to them. And you're not going to take a lot of damage in return. Of course, here, yeah, we're sidewards here, and when we could get penned very, very easily. But, you know, no one's looking at me at the moment. The E4 is there looking at me, and I've realised that. So I am trying to be very freaking careful of him because I don't want to get shot. And as soon as he takes the shot, misses, I can then poke out and get a few shots off. But, yeah, at the moment, no one's looking at me. Everyone's looking to the left. But considering the whole team are together and they are destroying pretty much all of our team around this side, it's not looking good. If they could have just held their own, held it, then this game would have actually been a very good game. But yeah, if you're here like now in the open, you're not going to bounce too much. But of course, if you are in the open on flat ground, I would just recommend just, you know, try to wiggle a lot. Yes, the lower plate is quite weak. Just wiggle a lot because you're going to get penned otherwise. But yeah, if you wiggle side to side, then you will actually get some bounces. So 2.7k damage. He is going to get the shot just as I get there. And yeah, my engine is now busted. And he's got great DPM, but somehow I managed to get a very troll bounce. So 3,400. There's just 2 tanks left. Me and another guy over there. And it's not going to end well. 19 hit points. How are you think it's going to end? But I did manage to take out that T57 to bring it down to a 1 versus 3. Now, if I had hit points, a lot of hit points, and I didn't use them all, I think this would have been a different outcome. And I genuinely believe I would have had a much better game. But, you know, 4.3k damage. The game weren't that long, 2.5 minutes as well. I thought that was all right. Yes, we didn't win, but I thought it was a pretty solid game. So we are going to have one more game or one more replay. I am going to fast forward it a little bit though. We're going to miss it a little bit. So we've got 1,000 there. So yeah, I mean, you come up against other medium tanks and you can bully them. Yeah, you've got the Object 140s, you've got the STBs and the T62s. You can really bully them. You can because of your size, your DPM is just as good as, not as good, but just as good as those. You can actually bully them. And again, like I said at the start, go for the ram. If you get the opportunity, go for the ram, because you do actually do quite a bit of damage. Like, people don't understand how much damage you can actually do if you go for the ram. Just like there, I lost 148, but I done almost 400 to that guy. And yeah, so that pumps your DPM up a little bit more, to be honest. So now we've got 3,000 damage. We're going to push forward to the T95. And again, if you are even in a hold down position, if you are trying to use that 8 degrees of gun depression, then do still wiggle, because you do still have weak points. Now, I mess up a few shots here, and I'm like, seriously? Like, really? You can see I'm trying to angle here. He is going to obviously switch to, he'll be able to penetrate me. But yeah, I say he's going to be able to penetrate me, but we still managed to get a bounce from this T95. So that's that guy gone. 3.4k damage, and here is just 3 tanks left alive. And so yeah, you can perform really, really well, and I absolutely love the Monster Evo, camouflage. I think it looks absolutely fantastic, and yeah, if you can get the tank, if you can get the camouflage, then it definitely is really, really worth buying. So of course, now these guys are both there. I don't want to take any more shots. I do want to try and bait them, however, but again, you've got to remember, if you are looking at a tank, if you are in a hold down position, either side of your gun is quite weak, and they will be able to penetrate you. So just don't make it easy for them. Don't make it easy for the enemy. Wiggle, 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 and then you might get a few bounces. So nice shot there to take care of the 50 TP. Just 2 tanks left alive. It's a 5 versus 2. Now I am a one-shot. Well, now I'm a one-shot. Just 64 hit points, and I do play this a little bit stupid, to be fair. Yes, there is a yo there, and I managed to get a very lucky troll bounce with my angles. So we bounced 1,000. We've only bounced 2 shots that game, but I still think to this date, and I've fought this for a very long time, and I've said it in a lot of videos, that this is definitely the strongest medium tank in the game. Not quite the best. I don't think it is the best, but it's very, very, very close. So yeah, I did die, but we still managed to get 5,500 damage. Very easy and a very nice win. So let me know your thoughts on the E50M. As I said, a very, very strong tank. I think the change was for the good. Yes, it's lost some accuracy, but I don't think it needs it, because it's a brawling tank. You're not going to sit at the back of the map sniping in this tank. So yeah, I prefer the armor over the accuracy any day of the week. Let me know your thoughts on the comments below, on the video, sorry. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With